Okay, this time it should officially work properly. And honestly, it's like the best time to do it because fucking my 200 and plus hours of Risk of Rain has been deleted. But time doesn't matter. And what I mean by that isn't like, oh, the time you spend with family doesn't matter. The time you spend like showing people love and affection and helping people doesn't matter. I mean, the time you've known people isn't actually that important. It doesn't matter to an extent, obviously. But how long you've known someone shouldn't dictate whether or not you should keep talking to them. It can in some cases, obviously, if they haven't done too much to you, of course, I guess. But, like, for example, with me, because this is, like, a real situation I'm going through right now, there are some people in life who, they don't treat you, like, properly. Which, I mean, some people care and, like, struggle showing it, show it in a weird way. But also that doesn't mean you should just kind of sit back and take it. For me, I had a friend who was like actually racist, basically. And like he'd always target me, I'd always be the butt of his jokes. And the friend group I was in kind of just dismissed it and was like, oh, like I'm sure he does it with everyone. And then like we had like a kind of diverse group, so one of the Asian friends in there would say like, oh yeah, he makes racist jokes about me. But then once I pointed out like, yeah, but like think about how often he does it with you and how often he does it with me. Him and the other friend had realized like, you know what, yeah, like it is actually way more than he does it with us. And like what I'm saying about that is like, cause I mean obviously like people will believe what they believe. And I mean he seemingly worked on it, got a little bit better about it after a confrontation kind of thing. But even still, it's like, I basically let the fact that we've known each other for 6 years just dictate like, oh, you know what, he's like being genuinely hateful towards me, but I've known him for so long that it doesn't, like that hate doesn't matter, because he's not that bad, and like it's okay. And it's fine for some people if, you know, what they do or say is not like that bad. But also you have to be able to, or at least try to be able to recognize when someone is taking something too far. And you have to also like try to just kind of be careful and remember like, you know what, I don't want to lose these friends because we've known each other for so long, but also it's not healthy for me to stay in this friendship because they aren't treating me how they should. They aren't treating me like a person should be treated. And it's like, okay, if it's a mutual thing, you guys just kind of treat each other like that, then it's like, that's fair. But if you have doubts or like feel like, oh, I don't belong in this friendship or this group, then you shouldn't just let time dictate how likely you should, or like how much you should consider leaving. Even if you spent like known them for like 20 years, you still shouldn't be like super afraid, or try not to be super afraid of leaving. And I mean, you can be afraid of leaving and still leave, and it doesn't really make you like any less of a person or like worse of a person either. It's because I mean, change is scary, and if you don't have any other friends to like kind of not migrate to, but like branch out to a little bit more, get to know them a little bit better, and it's like it can be even harder. And I can see why, like even more, I can understand why you'd be more scared of it. But also, even still, it's like you kind of have to weigh: do I want to stay in a situation that's bothering me and I'm struggling with it, and no one's helping me, or do I want to get out of it and try to do something that I think like that feels better, and be in a friendship that feels better too? And again, it's gonna be hard, but like for me, I've got out of a friendship with 2 people I've known for 6 years, and 2 people I've known for like 4 years at the end of this year. And like it's hard, but not really because of normal reasons. Well, what I think to be the normal reasons, but technically I don't really know if it's the normal reason. But it's not hard because like I'm gonna miss them or anything. I realized what I miss more, or will miss more, is kind of the idea of like, oh, I'm like missing these people to hang out with now. And now I have like less people to hang out with, so I'm not as occupied as I used to be before. And it's like, even then, that's not saying that you don't care about friendship necessarily. I mean, in some cases it definitely can. But also it's more so like a telltale sign of like, oh, you know what, it was more so the experiences that I enjoyed. It wasn't necessarily the friendship or the camaraderie, maybe, if that's the right word. But it wasn't necessarily that I enjoyed about talking to them. It was more convenient, and I got to have more fun talking to them, even though they just didn't treat me the best. And like, while only one was technically that bad in that friend group, the other three, they would never really reach out. Well, as soon as I left the friend group, one friend just stopped reaching out completely. But before I like officially made it, or before I made it official that I left the friend group, he'd reach out on occasion. But like, as soon as I was like, yeah, no, I'm like actually done with the group, then he just stopped reaching out. And I would try reaching out, and he wouldn't ever reciprocate. So then one day I just asked him, after asking another friend, like, hey, are we still friends? Do you want to be? And like, he said yeah. I mean, I eventually cut him off too, which I feel slightly bad about, but also like, realistically, unfortunately he also didn't really reciprocate the reaching out that much, which is why I cut him off. Because if you want to be friends, that's fine, but also if you're like if you're gonna say that you'll reach out more, but then also don't reach out still, then then that just becomes more like, oh, I don't trust this person with what they say. Or it becomes more of like, it becomes harder to trust them with them like actually wanting to be your friend. And it's kind of hard to distinguish, like, do they want to be my friend, or did they just say that because, you know, it's more convenient, or because they don't want me like feeling bad. And so while time does matter, and, you know, take it into account if you want, it also doesn't, because again, it's like all of that, and like people I've known for years, they still kind of just like either switched up like that, or like super quick, or just, you know, they just weren't the best in terms of friendship. And honestly, had I left sooner, I think I could have been probably honestly had more friends and like had a better base. And I mean, now I have like better friends than I did in that group, but even still, it's like I'm very happy with these friends now, and this new friend group. But also the one thing about it though is, honestly, there are probably more people I could have also gotten close to had I taken the time like to actually officially leave the old friend group and be like, oh, you know what, this is not working for me, so let me leave it, instead of just staying for old time's sake, essentially. And again, there's not really anything wrong with that. It's like, nostalgia is a hell of a drug, really. And I mean, that's, a lot of people make bad choices because of nostalgia, so again, it's even more reasonable than it might seem at first. You just have to remember, like, you know what, I'm not a bad person for throwing nostalgia to the wind, kind of, you know? And so again, time is important in a lot of aspects, but when it comes to friends and like who you trust and who you care for, the time that is really important is the time that they've given you and the time you've given them. Friendships are supposed to be like more give and take, give and take, but like, you know, two-sided, obviously. Not just like, oh, you give and they take and take. It's supposed to be two-sided. You give and take, and they give and take. And whenever you guys can help each other, you do. And whenever you need help, like, you know, reach out. Like, friends should be someone you can reach out to, not someone who you're scared of talking to for fear of like being treated wrong, or, you know, not even someone who does treat you wrong, regardless of if you're like not scared of talking to them. It's like, if they treat you wrong, that's still like a sign, like, oh, you know what, we shouldn't be friends. So like, I'm gonna come to a close, and also, as you can tell, there's no script because I can't be bothered. But like, as much as people think of time like being, I mean, time is precious, don't get me wrong. But as much as people think of it as an indicator of like, oh yeah, we're great friends because we've known each other for this long, it's like, it really doesn't mean anything in terms of that. Like, you can know each other for decades, and again, like, as I said earlier, that decade only means anything if you guys have consistently been close and getting closer and like being friends and getting like better as friends as well throughout that time. If you guys just talk like every once in a while and you guys aren't really on good terms throughout that decade, it doesn't actually mean anything. Even if you guys consider each other friends and but still like barely talk or don't treat each other that well in friendship, it's like, you know, that's still kind of telling of like, you know what, I shouldn't be friends with this person. I know we've known each other for a while, but either we shouldn't be friends or just I can't count on them too much and I should distance from them a little bit. And also, distancing isn't even a bad thing. Like, I mean, it can seem wrong if you don't give too much of a warning, but also there are times where you shouldn't even, like, the people don't deserve a warning, really, and where what you should do is just, you know, do what's best for yourself and get out, which doesn't always involve letting people know, like, oh, hey, I'm not going to be talking to you anymore. And again, that's perfectly fine, too. It's like, you know, you don't always have to talk to everyone. What you need to do is just, or yeah, all you actually have to do is just, you know, basically just try to be respectful, but also try not to be super, like, try not to harm yourself, essentially, in the quest of, like, trying not to hurt another person's feelings, because that's unfortunately never gonna actually, like, work properly. You're always going to hurt someone's feelings, and even if you don't, there are always going to be people who don't like you. And that's also fine. Like, you know, you can't win everyone over. You also can't just, get everyone, or you can't get everyone to like you, and not everyone's going to dislike you, of course, but, like, you know, you can't always hope and expect to get people to like you. Like, you can hope to get people to like you, but you also can't get, like, you need to try not getting super, I guess, bummed out or disappointed if no one likes you. I mean, if no one likes you, then sure, be disappointed, that's fair. But if not a lot of people like you, then that's just life. You know, you're not always going to be everyone's cup of tea, and that's kind of just how it works for everything. Not everyone experiences the same, like, feeling with someone else, or something else even. Like games, for example. Not all games appeal to everyone. Not all movies appeal to everyone, not all music appeals to everyone. Everything's different with people. And you shouldn't ever feel like, oh, like, this person doesn't like me, or this thing isn't working out, so I'm like a terrible person, or I'm not fun to be around, I make it hard to like me or be friends. It's like, you're not always the issue. It's just, you know, things don't always work out, unfortunately. And sometimes, like, the stuff you want to work out the most is also, like, the thing that's the most prone to failing, because, again, you try so hard to keep it that it just doesn't work out. And that's just also, again, a part of life as well. Unfortunately, not everything goes to plan, and not everything will, like, sometimes you can make things go to plan, according to plan. But also, you have to accept that for the majority of it, it's just gonna be luck if stuff does go to plan. But again, like, what really matters is just remember that time is not nearly as important as everyone makes it seem, because what is really necessary for, like, having an actual good friendship or relationship with people isn't time, but it's more so how you treat them, the boundaries you guys set, and how you treat them, the boundaries you guys set, and also the connection you guys build, and continue to build off of each other, or with each other. And I guess kind of almost like, not repertoire, I don't know, basically just almost rapport, yeah, almost rapport, I guess, too. That's also kind of necessary, because again, the more you trust someone, the more you know, like, oh, this person actually, like, values me as a person. And that's also why trust is so important. Like, realistically, time doesn't matter, trust matters. How much you trust someone doesn't necessarily always have to, like, rely on time. I mean, it definitely can, and does, and should in some cases. But also, again, like, trust is really, or yeah, people you trust are who you should be hanging out with, not people you've known for longer. And also, you don't always have to trust people you've known for a long time as well, because again, it's like not everyone's gonna act the way you would like them to. Even if you have conversations about it, like with my friends, for example, I've had conversations about it, and they never really tried. Like, for example, one friend I talked to, and I was like, hey, like, I don't really feel that close with you guys anymore, and I've been trying to reach out, but you haven't really reciprocated, but you've also said that you want to be my friend and stuff still. And all he really said was just, oh, you have to try harder to connect and stuff. And I was like, I mean, I've been trying hard, you guys just haven't reciprocated. And he was like, oh yeah, you just gotta push more. And so that's honestly like why I stopped talking to him, because I was like, okay, like that's not how friendships should work. You don't just blame, or you shouldn't just like put the blame onto the person who's pointing out an issue. You should be like, oh, you know what, like you're right, and if I want this to work, then we can try and work something out and compromise, because that's what all relationships are really about, compromise. Like relationships and friendships, they require compromise still. And I mean, it's hard for some people like to remember to compromise, which is fair, and it also is hard just in general for some people to compromise rather than just thinking about it. It's just hard to actually act on compromise, and like be willing to make that compromise as well. And again, it's like what you should do is try finding someone who is like a good friend and is willing to make that compromise, and is willing to like do stuff that's obviously healthy and within reason to keep your friendship going strong. And they should also be someone who you're willing to do that for as well. And again, like time really doesn't play that big of a factor in it. It does play part in it, but it also doesn't make or break the whole situation. You can know someone for like a month or two and get way closer to them than you've ever gone to the people that you've known for like years, and that's fine. And honestly, I don't know how to end the video, so I'm just gonna say, like, sorry for the app session, because it's gone on for way longer than I meant for it to, and I'm probably like never gonna post this style of video, because I'm probably I don't need to post on this channel, so it's probably gonna continue being that way. But this is just random. I thought about it recently, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Let me make a video. So yeah, see ya.